Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to come on to do another quick cosmic energy update. It's been quite an eventful week and then some. I think we can all feel it. Things are finally shifting. So I hope you can all see this, you can all feel this. The fog is lifting. This is it. Some of us can feel a few glitches in the matrix, news coming out of a very positive kind, Mandela effects. So very, very exciting, and a lot of whispers of what's to come. Now, I wanted to just share a few little pieces that I've collected over the last few days. It's been, for me at least, quite dense the last few days. I had to do a lot of deep inner work. We've done a lot of deep mother healing and womb healing as well, also the last week. And I could see a lot of healing coming online, but also it was for me as if pushing through the psychosis, the final bits of the pathologies, the false projections, the negative ego, and any kind of separation still held. And yeah, so that was fun. Now, also, it's good, I think, to understand that each one of us has slightly different missions, as in focus work. So for me, I do a lot of transmutational work, as I call it, shit shifting. So I do a lot of misery, and feeling not so good is kind of my thing. As in, there are some people who anchor in a lot of light and love and high vibrations and frequencies. I hold a lot of frequency, but for me it looks a little bit different. So although I do post positive messages and I see myself a little bit as an ascension cheerleader to keep us all on track, but on another level also, I do for years now do very deep inner work. So how I spend most of my days really do energy work on myself, do grid work on the planet, Stargate work, clear that for hours really a day. And then I also do a lot of reprogramming work. So I really sift through the collective consciousness and really consciously do the reprogramming. And then also, obviously, I share with you guys what I get up to and what I see unfolding in the field. And then also, obviously, the activations, which I will come to next, because I just posted, or I just created another event for Saturday, which is a 1-2-2-2-2-2 day. And it's promising to be very potent. I mean, we're really in no time since the solstice. Major victories on the grids. It's done ultimately, and it's now done. But we're giving it, so to say, the final kick with an event activation. But I will talk about this in a moment. So really, we are being asked to make the event happen, whatever we may perceive of the event to be. And ultimately, it is already in progress. But this is kind of a final push to really fully collapse the false projections of this matrix, which are ultimately held in our own body matrix, so in our own blueprint. And it is energetically already collapsing, and has collapsed, but obviously there are different layers to it, and we want to see it in a real reality. And how I am seeing it, as I also shared in my previous posts and videos, is really that we are looking at a false matrix as in it's an artificial overlay. And this is not real. It's like a controlled hallucination, mass hallucination. And there is another reality beyond this, new earth colors, new earth skies, and real organic realities. And this is what we're fully bringing down. And as I said, there's already a lot of this energetic work has already happened. But as I'm saying, we're bringing in the energy of the event and full compression breakthrough, and also it's going to be a triple helix, DNA helix activation. So first of all, though, let me just carry on with what I wanted to say of what's currently happening. So the focus lifting, a lot of density has been lifted, especially over the last week. It was really a pure, I saw so much white and platinum and crystalline light. And plasmas coming in, I'm also seeing a lot of white and blue Mother Arc frequencies ever since the solstice. And really, it's a total purification event already in progress. So it's just, I mean, I've really been just praying and asking to be just totally purified. And what we're doing is really we're going back to our original blueprint, to before the fall, retrieving our source codes, the original source codes, but we also have upgrades that we collected along this path, okay? It's not been for nothing. We don't just go back to the start. It's an expansion of what our original innocence, if we want to call it that, essence is all about, okay? So when I talk about us jumping as a collective to a new time-space coordinate within the omniverse, it's really a consciousness that's the unity consciousness. So that's what we talk about, the unity grid, the new grid system. And that's based on a tri-wave current. And that's really the polarities collapsed within the 0-point field of neutrality. And that's a lot what I've been seeing, because ultimately the old realities, the old grid is based in a false or distorted polarity consciousness, and a polarity like a bi-wave, like bipolar grid current. So we are also correcting that through bringing in these tri-wave and 0-point field energies through us, and also obviously embodying this. So our job is to clear out any imbalances and distorted polarities within us, and everybody in our reality is helping us do that. So I've been going through the lovely process of looking at where I have still been out of alignment, and addressing that, and really going really, really deep what was I being triggered by, and what was I still judging. And it always will come back to you. It's an old aspect of you, or just an unintegrated aspect that you don't want to see. So an unacknowledged shadow aspect that you are at odds with, that you have a conflict with, that you are judging, okay, that you're in separation with. So every trigger is always helping us integrate another aspect of us to become whole within. If we speak about wholeness, it's really picking up all these pieces, all these soul aspects, fragments, need to be reintegrated, healed, and unified within. And other people are helping us do that. So ultimately, all is perfect. And this is what we have to get to. So no matter how annoying and painful some experiences or relationships can sometimes be, they are really here to serve us. And this is also true for the Grand Collective, speaking in our experience here. So it's the integration of the both ends that we are now coming to full completion with, where any conflict within or without needs to be brought to peace within, acceptance, surrender, forgiveness, integration, okay? So whatever is still outstanding there, what is triggering you, go deep into it. Deeper and deeper and deeper within, until you've come to peace and have integrated it, and it doesn't trigger you anymore. Because that's what it takes, quite frankly. That's how we integrate all of these pieces and purify them through us. This is pure alchemization. We have taken on the distortions in order to purify them through us. That's what I do with my transformational work. I know this. It's like you can't judge it. You just need to get the job done. And I sometimes have things in my life where I know, that I understand why people are the way they are. They still trigger me. And I know I have to go deeper into it in order to understand and unravel it. Because sometimes you understand something, but there's an energetic that we still have to burn off. And that's a lot what has happened over the last years. Because ultimately we are all not getting it. Okay, when we are being triggered or judging someone or something, we're still not getting it. All of us. All of us in psychosis, all of us not getting it. Sorry, but it is. So we have to be really honest with ourselves where we're still not getting it. Because we are not getting that the other person is coming from that level of consciousness that they're at. And they're doing their best from what they've been given, so to say. Even if they do the wrong thing, even if they do evil things, it's still from the level of consciousness that they're at. So judge not lest you be judged, because ultimately you're just judging yourself. You're angry with yourself, you're judging yourself, you're frustrated with yourself. It always comes back to you. Now, you can have discernment, but being triggered in judgment is different. It's a totally different energetic. Okay, you can say clearly no to something and have, discernment and boundaries, but it doesn't mean that you are, judging someone. I hope you understand the difference of the energetic, because that's just something that's still not integrated. It's ultimately a lack of understanding the psychology behind a person. And obviously, unless you have walked in someone's shoes since the beginning of their birth, you can't really understand fully maybe where they're coming from. But we do our best to try and understand, because that's where unity consciousness comes in, that we come together and we don't fight each other anymore, but we're actually helping each other. Because I think we all need a big hug. And I could feel over the last few days, especially with these deep mother healings. And sometimes I feel this before other people. We also all have different themes going on. But that is what it comes back to, because ultimately we're all born through the mother. And it comes back to also the mitochondrial DNA that is birthed through the mother line, and where the healing, the perfect proton, seed, and cosmic egg comes in, which is certain blueprints, aspects of our spiritual bodies, okay, that we're healing. And it comes back to the mother that is then birthing the correct blueprints for the divine masculine and divine child, which is all one, okay, that's the Holy Trinity as well. So this is not about gender, this is more about an energy, and it's through the void of the mother that creation is born. So we are having to heal all of our mommy issues, puppy issues as well, and be our own parents, reparenting ourselves and really developing emotional and mental maturity now to walk our talk and really stand fully in integrity. Check every corner where we might still not be aligned, because this is becoming very, very obvious now, and we really have to address this, because this is how we resolve this thing from the inside out. So anything out there that you think is not aligned, take it within that advice, okay? Everything, pull it back within. Keep pulling it back within. Go deeper. And resolve it all. That's how we do this. So, there's a lot to sort out, a lot to integrate, our multidimensional self. Really, in meditation, connect really with your body, with your cells, light them up from your heart, your sacred crystal heart, open it up, talk to your DNA, see your crystalline DNA. Go within, close your eyes and see what are you seeing within your field. Clear it out. There are many different techniques, and I can maybe go into this in another time. I was asked this in one of my videos about techniques, and I was a bit tired at that point at the end of the video and didn't give the best answer. And of course, there are many techniques, and I also have some activations on my SoundCloud that you can use, for example. But ultimately, this is for another time and takes a longer video. But I've also, in the event description and in some of my other posts, say, I often imagine a plasma bubble of light all around me that I use for the clearing and energy working, but I'm also imagining myself in a tube of light, in a column of light, okay, usually white or crystalline white, diamond, platinum. You can also, I really go by intuition, because every day or sometimes throughout the day different colors and rays come in as well, but the white ascension ray is really all of the colors, all of the 12 main rays together. And then we are also downstepping this all the way from source now. So that's another thing. We are fully reconnected with source. This is happening for humanity, okay? Away from the phantom matrix. We're reconnecting with Andromeda, our true north. Our poles are being recorrected. And as I've mentioned before, the event, as I'm seeing it, is a flash or light, whether it's going to be visible or not, coming through from the great central sun, but from source, ultimately through the sun, through the stargates, into the Earth's core. So ultimately, this is about an activation of the crystalline core of Earth, which is connected to the magnetosphere, which the way it has been so far has been manipulated, so it's not a natural magnetosphere, which needs to shift, and also the poles. So I've been saying before, I can see four poles shifting, and we are in the final stages of that happening as I'm seeing it. So the staff, which is our vertical alignment, is corrected, but the rod, the horizontal alignments, they still need a little bit of correction. Like, we've been receiving the codes and everything, but it always takes a little while to integrate that. The same with the activations. You know, we're bringing these activations in, we're receiving it, but then the unlocking, the integration takes a little bit of linear time for our bodies to catch up on all of this. So, and we all together make up the planetary body. So this is happening. The more of us can integrate our correct light body configurations, geometries, heal all of the damage, the more that happens from the planet, for the planet. And we are really going through this whole last week was really a huge purification and healing. It's just annihilating, purifying, dissolving all the false matrix overlays, holographic inserts, false data, memories. It's clearing out any remaining artificial negative alien technology and machinery connected to the mind control and so forth. It's done. It's literally done. The field today, it's so clear. It's so clear. I mean, now we're really going through the correct sound and light codes are being received by the crystalline core. I've been shown this a lot with dragon and dragon eggs, and yesterday I could hear it also as the correct sound codes from source, the original, because pre-meta, before we materialize into the different meta forms, it's sound and light, the sound and light fields of the pre-meta fields, okay? And this is being corrected because the sound and the colors here have been all off, equals off realities. Yeah, it's all been messed with. So these are being corrected, means corrected realities, okay? So the way I'm seeing this is like, we're waiting for the magic moment for this all to come online, for everything to cosmically, literally align, for this activation to the Earth's core, which is going to deactivate the magnetosphere temporarily. I do not see any big catastrophes. And this is also an activation of the grids. This is an activation of the memory of the planetary brain, which is connected to the crystalline network and the crystal caverns and our own crystals within, which are in our bones, our blood, our skin, fascia, everywhere. Brain, crystal hearts, okay? And our crystal hearts are connected to the crystalline core of Earth. And we are reconnecting to an organic source flow, an esoteric organic source backflow return. I make up my own words, and they are also picked up from somewhere else, and sometimes I, make them longer or shorter. So it's more about the frequency of the words. So that's what I'm seeing we can make happen. There will be an activation. I'm just going to actually very quickly post this now here underneath in the comments. And basically, it's on Saturday, and we gonna connect in meditation as always. What this is I get the information that I'm to offer this as an event. These are ultimately activations that come in from source, okay, in our galactic families, in our own higher identities. I hold the field in the container, so there is a lot for me to it, as in, before I even post these events, I open and hold the field and I clear it. So I ensure the highest integrity and clarity in the field, okay, with no interference. And during the activation, and really they start as soon as I post them. So it's much more than just that 1 hour. And it also is the 48 hours after the event has gone live. It's very active, the field, and there's still a lot that happens. And again, long after. But it's a whole ride, okay? And during those days, I also go into the field, and a lot of stuff is already happening, and that comes in and that I activate. So it's like, because I also hold like a cosmic blueprint for ascension, so it's easier to bring in the codes and for you to pick them up, okay? So it's really an acceleration. They all serve as ascension booster sessions, so they're also an acceleration and support for your own ascension journey, and it's everything really. We're looking at the whole morphogenetic field, DNA, RNA, and plasma light body, clearing out miasms, clearing out negative energies, AI, materials, all of that stuff. It's a real whole cleanse, upgrade, purification, activation. Plus then a special focus of what I show, which in this case is, let's bring on the event, full compression breakthrough, activating our triple helix, okay, and let's get these plasma light body megahabas, light chips started, and really let's fly. And I think a lot of us can already feel the rebirth happening, and we're really rebirthing as one right now. So this is really a whole, for me, undertaking of the one consciousness. As we ascend, we all ascend. And this is a whole sorting out, okay? Not everybody's coming along. But I really do feel there will be a moment in time, but there will be a huge visible shift of realities from inorganic to organic. And this is what we're focusing on, okay? So read the event descriptions. I just posted that as well. Join me if you like, and as always, they are not free events. I can't put them differently into Facebook, so because it is, for you an upgrade, it's an activation, it's a healing, it's a quantum remote healing, and they are very powerful. I do ask for donations, however big or small. If you can't do it, that's totally fine as well. Please be my guest, but they're not free as such, okay? And they are remote, so there's no live video or audio, although I put a couple of links in there. And what I'm also going to do is at the end of this video, I'm going to do a little healing for us and bring on some really divine mother healing frequencies to just help to remove a little bit more out of the field and fill us all up with beautiful divine love from the mother and these beautiful mother arc frequencies that are available to us, the aqua frequencies, and really healing the blueprints back to perfection. This is quantum right now, okay? Like, we have the opportunity right now we are in the middle of it. We are merging with our quantum future self that is already in the organic reality, where we should be anyway, and where we are already, because it's all parallel, all right? So it's a huge timeline convergence that's happening and coming to its conclusion. Because I could see that happening already on the 21st December 2020, and then this completed in the last solstice, on the last solstice, so the 21st December 2021, and now we're really seeing the effects of this, okay, through Mandela effects, through glitches in the matrix, through just people waking up everywhere. I mean, we've really seen it since November, but now it's absolutely super, blowing wide open, because it's just the time we've cleared so much of the interference patterns, okay, and all this bog and fog and interference on all levels, okay, and AI signals and materials, okay. So this is all we had to get to a point where enough of it was clear to now really lock in, to shift to the new coordinate, which is the new consciousness, okay? That's why I work a lot on reprogramming ultimately, because I focus on the consciousness, because that's where everything else is based upon. Dragons. The Christic dragons are out in full force, okay? They're, for me, they're also our, again, in a higher aspect, from the higher dimension. It's our solar dragon aspect is kind of before humanoid form, if you will. So some of us have very strong connections to that, which is, I'm just getting the German word for it, It's like our original form, in a sense, as I'm seeing it. Yeah, the Christic dragons, they very much also are helping with the grids and clearing that. And again, I see them a lot with around the crystal core as well, because they also carry for me they represent the original sound and color bands of creation. That's what they're bringing back. So we had a lot of negative ego judgment and separation dissolving, or that's what's happening. So again, it depends where everybody is at, if you're already feeling it, or whether you're gonna go through it. What I also could see was a huge mission review for me. So it was really a review of everything I've decided and done and or not done over the last many years since my journey has started. And as many of us know, it's been very hard. So it was really a review of like, did I do the right things or not? And ultimately, yes, obviously we've all learned, from these experiences, but ultimately I could also see the whole worth around the mission, because it was like, until now I still don't have a website. I've just been really relying on donations since September, end of September. I have not done really private sessions. And that's been by guidance, because I very much had to focus on these activations and the grid and gate work, and it's worked out. But obviously there's also part of me that really, really wants a home, okay, so I can be with my daughter more and can really properly be with her half the time, because right now, just because of the money, I can't really do that because I'm living too far away. I don't have a home where I have a extra room for her, or even myself. So anyway, so I would need to get organized and get that all done. And I've got no problem in offering courses and private sessions, so forth either. But ultimately, it's always divine will and guidance. And that's the thing. So this whole journey for me has been a total surrender to my guidance. Even if my human screams makes no sense to the old programming, that's kind of the point. So I had to really sacrifice what I wanted as a human for doing what I'm being guided to do in order to break through all the BS, belief systems, bullshit, aka programs, because that's how we dismantle these realities. But now it's also like we're getting to a point, and this was this weekend, I had enough. I need to be with my daughter, I need to have a home, this is it. And that's exactly the frequency where we need to be at, and it's not from victim, that's not from demanding, it's nothing, it's just knowing our time has come now, everything is coming together. I still can't quite, and it was like, oh, I just want to, I wanted to control making it happen. But the guidance was, no, you are doing exactly what you're meant to do. And even if you can't, weigh this up in money, I mean, Ascension, come on, if we help make this happen by following our guidance, what better reward could there be? And this is also the solution to all of our problems anyway, even though we might not see exactly how it's going to happen. And we've been waiting a long time, okay? But perseverance, and that's again, you can just from one moment to the next keep flowing in the now moment, okay? And in one now moment, maybe in 1 hour, I'm going to sit down and have a whole project plan and course or whatever to put down, for example. But at the weekend, it was like, what I can also see is coming online is a total shift of who we are, what we are about, what we want to bring online, how we work, what we're going to offer. So it's all in the air. So I just need to let go, surrender a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to divine will. Because that's what we need to do, is breaking through all of these control mechanisms and belief systems, because ultimately it's a frequency which makes all of this happen. Because if there was an easy, practical answer, I would have already done it. But I couldn't do it without sacrificing what I'm here to do. Now, our sacrifices will pay off because it's our time. I can feel it. I hope you can feel too. I hope you can see the differences already happening with the people around you, with the whispers, with the signs. They're everywhere. If you can't see it yet, please go and look, because we do co-create by what we focus upon and what we look for. It really is that true. Like, we all have very different reality experiences depending on what we are focusing upon. So, surrender, drop into timelessness, into no time, because this is really where it's at. Because this has been already going on for billions and billions of years, okay? A few more days or weeks or whatever it takes, all right? But it's already here, really. But just, we really need to drop into no time in order to be able to also, from the place of the 0 point field, neutrality, to collapse realities, to shapeshift them, and to create all new. Because we cannot do it from a place where we are resisting or fighting anything, okay? And it's not, the 0 point field doesn't mean that we don't have an opinion. It's just that we don't cling to it. We don't have to defend it. Okay, there is no resistance to the polarity anywhere. We are, as the 0 point field, you unify the polarities within the 0 point field, okay, within neutrality, which is divine love. Because we need to transcend ultimately this whole good versus evil, right versus wrong right now. If we want to bring the polarity to conclusion, because the polarity is the right, wrong, good, bad, good versus evil. That's the polarity consciousness. So we have to transcend it in order to get out of it. So you can't buy into it at the same time. So you have to see that ultimately all is divinely orchestrated. So we have to forgive those perpetrators. That doesn't mean that we let them get away or don't make them responsible, but we have to forgive on a deep level. We have to kind of lose the triggers and the judgment, because that's what we came here for, and this is how we are healing everyone now. All of us, the one consciousness rebirthed. Okay? And through that rebirth, the lower consciousness, the whole frequency bands of the lower consciousness have already been cleared. And the people are accordingly leaving then as well. And some will just disappear, because they're not part of the new timeline. But in order for that to happen, you have to forgive it, and you have to bring conclusion and peace to the story and all of the stories. And we really need to stop telling the stories now in order to, and rewrite new stories. If we keep going on of how broke or miserable or whatever, whatever is, we keep recreating them. So it's like not looking away or denying that things are not the way they are. No, but we do this, but then it's like, okay, this is how it is, but I can see it getting better, or this is what I can see for my future, and this is what's happening. Might not be so great right now, when I know and I can feel it within every cell of my body that good times are coming. Our biggest dreams are becoming a reality, because we make it so, because believing is truly seeing. This is what we came here for, okay? I believe. So yeah, a lot clearing, also a lot of headaches, third eye, pineal, pituitary glands, crown. We've been receiving a lot of energy the last few days, so straight SOC from source down. I also call it sometimes scalar wave energy. So I see it from source, really healing all. This is just a pure, like, as I say, it's like a pre-event stage we are in, where everything is purifying and healing. So whatever that is for each, but a lot is obviously opening up here, also for us to perceive new earth colors and the higher heart-mind connection, because this is really unifying, and obviously also our awareness to open up. And as I said, I could really see we're breaking through the psychosis, the mass psychosis, which is ultimately false projections, which also equals the holographic inserts, because they're ultimately false projections. So, and that happens through us changing and shifting our perceptions of how we see things. It doesn't mean that the data as such is changing, it's just how we are perceiving it. So where before maybe somebody has triggered us, we all of a sudden see a deeper understanding of why the person is the way they are. We can lose our anger, we can see a part of us in them, and we integrate that peace and come to more peace within, more love, which definitely feels better than anger. And we help heal them as well, okay? And this is what we came here to do, and every trigger is helping us do that. So see them as a blessing, because they really are, and everybody who's annoying you. And we really need to be mature about this and have that that emotional and mental maturity now of how we interact with people and with situations, and really stand in integrity and not get triggered anymore. I got triggered the other day with a mass situation, and we do need to stay in grace. So I went deeper. So, and it's all perfect, because that's the thing. And you thank the universe for that, because there obviously was still something within you, a frequency you needed to clear and upshift. Okay, so you can become purer. And ultimately, also a pure heart is leading to pure blood, which is clearing our DNA and everything else. It's really connected. The heart is so important, our capacity to love, loving ourselves, loving others, love and reverence for all life everywhere. That's really the key. And that includes not calling other people idiots. Sometimes you can maybe silently say that a little bit, but you get me, okay? It's not from that place of how can they, and that you don't understand, okay? We can keep the humor a little bit, of course, yes. Keep it lit, but don't try to understand people, because you're trying to understand the consciousness, and you're trying to this is a reconciliation of the one consciousness that we are all having part of, and we all having access to that consciousness, the one that is being rebirthed through us now. And the divine love that I speak about, that really heals all right now, the divine love from source. But it also is here to embody and remember and reassemble itself, which we're doing right now. But it also has boundaries, standards, and limits. Let's not forget. That's a really important part to really integrate right now. The both ends, okay? We are not naive. We are not being taken advantage of anymore. We are not being taken for a ride. We're not being lied to any longer, okay? We are all tuned in, and we have, because as super empaths, once we've, integrated all of this, it's a superpower, and we can read the field, we can read people, we can read just from like a sentence being sent to us, the whole energy behind it, okay? And this is where we get into, it's a whole system. It's not just even our heart, our gut, it's our whole body that can read reality, and it can decode and override and re-encrypt the realities of, because also what we're seeing out there really is the dream. And if we want to wake up, we do need to pull it all within, because we've been duped by what's been going on without. Where behind the veil, for those of us who can see within, have seen that, a lot is going on, and what we're being shown certainly hasn't been reflecting that so far. But even that is changing, so that's good. So let's break through our last pathologies, bad habits, any regrets, any blame, any shame, any judgment. All of that shit needs to go right now. Make a list of what you still have out there. Write it down and really sit down. You need to really be very conscious with that reprogramming right now, okay? And stop projecting out and blame and point a finger of someone else being the fault and them being the problem. If you're still doing this, you're the problem. I can promise you that, because I know, because I was the problem and I could see it clearly. So I hope you do too. So let's do it. It's all within. Go deep to release it all. Let love purify it all. And miracle healings are possible. You just have to ask for it and really open up to it right now. And it's possible at a collective level, and that's what the event for me is about. And as I say, it's already in progress for this last week. It's a huge purification, super purge, and healing that's simultaneously happening, ordained by Source directly and the Divine Mother. All right. So this is what's healing, and this is what's happening. Quantum healing is where it's at. This is where we are now. Transcend the time, what you think, how long things may happen, what you believe is going to happen, how it's going to happen. Surrender to divine will. Just know that it is so. Focus on the feeling of what it feels like, living your dream life, being on new earth, living in unity consciousness, because it is available now. And in the blink of an eye, it's going to be a reality, okay? So, but we need to transcend linear time for this. These are just coordinates at this point. And what has before, time is compressing. It's a great acceleration of time. It's all converging until it's just one now moment, and it's one reality experience, okay? So, and for many of us, we've already been feeling the concept of time is totally changing and shifting. So it's very important to stay present in the now moment. Keep listening to your intuition and guidance above all else. It becomes ever more important, okay? Because this is your gift. This is your wisdom. This is your abundance, your gifts and abilities. But you have to use them, you have to trust them. If you don't, then, don't use it and then lose it kind of thing. But you really have to trust this now, because this is where, if you don't trust you have the power to manifest this timeline and the biggest timeline for yourself and your dreams coming true, who can then? You know, it really is your belief systems are the limits now. And this is not about forcing ego will, it's in alignment with divine will, okay? We want to unify now and align our higher self and source self with our lower self, so to say. Unifying heaven on earth through us, merging shadow and light, higher and lower self, masculine, feminine, bringing it all to union, and the Trinity within, now, through our inner alchemization of all these little pieces still missing. Keep pulling them in, keep looking for the triggers, be grateful for them, and let it all be transmuted through inner understanding, which is wisdom, which we came here to bring, and then reprogram the reality, because we're really here to help each other, and we really need to get that right now, okay, and stop being divided. Doesn't matter what anyone believes in. We all have our own little fears and our own little pathologies and problems, and that's not a competition of who has more and who has less. So I hope that frequency really comes on in through what I'm saying you now, because it's just so important. I really had to speak with myself, because as I said before, I'm not perfect, and I had things going on that I knew were still there, but I couldn't resolve them, and I really asked for it to be resolved, and it did get resolved, but it was a little bit of a, needed to be shocked a little bit to really get it and to go deeper. You really need to also, you know, want to go there. Anyway, enough of that now. So we're breaking through polarity consciousness. We need to transcend no right, no wrong. We're all playing a role here, okay? Even the assholes. And we've all been an asshole at some point or another, okay? So let's check on all of this and let's stop judging, because this is the end of Judgment Day. This is that forgiveness, and this is where we're at now. If we can't get there, you know, then we can't get to New Earth, because we have to leave this shit behind. And sorry for all the words, but needs to be said, because this is really the time now, okay? So ultimately, we're all at fault, we're all the problem, and we're all not getting it. Unless you're sitting there like the Buddha and are just smiling already, okay? So this is how we heal all now. See everybody perfectly imperfect, see everybody in the highest light, okay? Let Source purify it all, every cell of your being, and ultimately see it as if we're really just helping each other to exercise our demons and shadows, because that's really what it is. So see also it from a lighter perspective. So everybody's playing a role, okay? No matter what the outer circumstances or appearances may be. It's all a co-creation. It always has been. We all know this from our own private stories. Why would it be a different story collectively or cosmically speaking? Is this a consciousness experiencing and expanding itself, and now it's reconciliation time. All happens from within. Yeah, and we've all once lived in illusion, and we still have blind spots. We all have blind spots. That's the whole thing. It's just very easy to see it with other people, and of course they're annoyed us, but we're really annoyed with ourselves. Also, the end of karmic interference now, and general interference, is basically clearing. So manifestations are on, New Earth realities are on, okay? We've cleaned this shit up. It's just some dusting off right now. And the end of karmic interference is also reflected through the clearing of the hybrid codings, okay? And the karmic imprints and the contracts and the karmic family death and spells and curses, and that has all been cleared. So all of that has been hindering us in, you know, manifesting what we wanted to. And it's all coming together now, because it's all interconnected. So it's like, once the dam breaks, the dam really breaks. And I think we've already been seeing the first signs of things getting better now. I hope we're all there yet. Okay. So ultimately, so all these people, okay, whether it's people in our lives or in other lifetimes, you know, that we had difficult and challenging relationships with, ultimately they're all helping us to collect these keys and codes and soul pieces and soul fragments that we still need, okay, to unify with Source, with all that is, okay, and we purify that through us. So we keep what is serving us, and we alchemize and release what's no longer serving us. I mean, I do this energetically as well. When I clear planetary energies, it's literally becoming one with them and purifying them through us. That's just what I've always done. It's transmutational alchemical work. Other people may do it differently, but I see it as us really having taken on these distortions, and then we purify and alchemize them through us. The same with all the programs and the karmic and ancestral imprints and all of that jazz, okay? So see it as a challenge instead of like a weight. And yes, we all want to be happy, but we do have to go through the not so fun stuff in order to make space and clear your template to go to a higher frequency. So when I say keep the frequency, doesn't mean just keep happy, okay? It's, you can hold a high frequency while you're going through the shifting and not having a good time. You just don't get, all pulled into the deep, dark pit of despair and suffer along with it. You can be in pain and not suffer because you're not resisting it. You're just feeling it. At this point, whether I feel happy or sad, of course I have a preference, but it just is. And that's kind of where you need to get to, where you don't resist the purging anymore, because that's suppression, because that's how we suppress. We don't want to look because we don't want to feel bad. Well, it's just piling up what you need to deal with. So it's not really resolving anything, as we know. So, just facing it, being with it, being present with whatever arises right now, because anything not in alignment will just become very obvious and very clear. So you really just need to be present in the now, and you will know what to do. Because like what I went through was really like all these conflicts in my head were still going on. It was like a bit of a brain melt. But, really breaking through the last conflicts of like, your higher self is just overriding your lower self right now. That's all I can say. So even if your lower self might want to be, but I'm right to be angry with them. So I was like, yeah, okay, but still. Okay? Doesn't give you an excuse to not be in your highest embodiment, because that's what we need to be right now. No matter how many reasons we may have. So that's what we need to do, not to fully transcend the distortion and polarities within us to come to divine union within. Closure, completion, forgiveness. If we can't transcend our own judgments towards others, we will find ourselves embodying them at some point or another. I can promise you that. I have found at least out for myself. From my own experience. We have to fully break through the polarity, as I said, good versus wrong, right, no, good versus evil, right versus wrong, to transcend the lower level of consciousness that acts as a ceiling to access the organic ascension reality. So because it's ultimately consciousness, okay? What it all burns down to. So there's always the same with holographic insert. Ultimately what they relate to on a consciousness level is false projections. So we can clear them from within. So I clear obviously them on an energetic level, in the planetary grids, in my own body, but then also on a consciousness level. For me, all needs to be addressed. And this then also makes us access the unity consciousness grid energy current, unity consciousness grid energy current, which is the tri-wave, which is the Trinity embodied, which is the polarities held within in balance. No more friction, okay? Unified through the 0 point field, through neutrality, through divine love. All in balance. Because we're not getting rid of the polarities, we just bring them into harmony. And we're also reversing the reversals, inversions, through correcting the false projections, because the false projection is an inversion of the reality, of the truth. So as we shift the way we look at things, the inversions correct themselves, okay, at that consciousness level, as well as in the grids through the tri-wave frequencies that we're running with the activations and, whatever else. And ultimately, though, we are embodying that. We are the tri-wave, we are the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, the Holy Grail, the Christ consciousness returned. We are running that through our own grids, our own consciousness. It's a consciousness, it's a tri-wave, energy current, however you want to look at that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to have a quick look here. What is the absolute highest version of the new earth that you can imagine? Let's co-create the highest reality possible. The highest version is new earth realities. I focus at the moment, I guess, on just bringing down the false matrix overlay, which again, at energetic level has happened, but we really now want to make this manifest. So it's really collapsing the programming which is underneath any reality. Because all reality, so when we say thoughts create matter, it's really repetitive thought forms create belief systems, and belief systems are programs. And programs is what realities are based upon. Think the Matrix movie, okay? That's what I also get to. So everything is a program. That's why I focus on reprogramming, because that's what ultimately shifts the realities. But obviously the neural pathways have to be reprogrammed for quite a while for that to sit, for you to properly reprogram yourself. But once you've done it for a few years, like I do in my work, then when something happens, you don't have your old thought anymore, because that neural pathway no longer is active, because you've run a new neural pathway which leads you straight to the new solution in your brain, where you don't need to go through all the conflict in your head to try and figure out what does the situation mean kind of thing. How can I bring it to resolution? It's just, no, it's that, and it's done. And that's kind of how we're now making this available at the planetary level, because we all make up the planetary brain. And this is also reflected in the grid network and in the crystalline network and the crystalline caverns. And this is also where the true memories are held, and the true data is within the crystalline caverns and the crystalline networks. Okay, so that's why we're purifying and working with them. So whenever we work with the grids, we also work with the planetary brain, which is what's bringing about a collective consciousness shift. Okay, so it's like just us, some of us awakened, tuned in, aligned with source, souls, embodying fully Christ consciousness. We are sending out, we are now, the new God consciousness broadcast is online. Okay, and we are the broadcasting stations. We're the new, mind broadcasts. The other mind control stuff is literally in the process of fully deactivating. I mean, there are different stages and so many parts to it, but as I said, it's literally just dusting off some bits and pieces here now. The field is almost totally clear. So basically the crystalline net or the crystalline grid network connecting to the planetary brain, and this activating is basically what brings the shift in consciousness collectively online. Think the 100 monkey effect. So when a few people enough, think in a new way, embody a new consciousness, also the higher consciousness overrides a lot of people on a lower consciousness level. And that brings about the one unity mind, the one consciousness that I speak about, or the unity consciousness grid field, where we really remember ourselves as one again, where we're all interconnected, we're all interdependent, okay? And we will have a whole new reverence for life, and the whole way we are going to interact is totally different. And we are here to anchor these programs through our embodiment. That's what I'm seeing right now, really heavily coming online, the full integrity of this embodiment. And this is what shifts all, because when we shift in the present, our past and future shift as well. So we are aligning with our future self, which is already in Christ consciousness embodiment. Enough of us doing this brings the whole collective online into Christ consciousness embodiment through the crystalline grid activations as well. That's what I'm seeing. Yes, anchors of Christ consciousness. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. And that already I see hundreds of years in the future as such. How quickly we're going to, how that exactly is going to play out, I cannot say. But I say, obviously, I don't think anybody really knows exactly what and when it's going to happen. So anyway, but again, yes, we're co-creating this, but outside of time anyway, okay, no time. But I see an event, purification event, awakening event happening, where it's literally like the lights go on and we all feel collectively that there's a shift happening and the sky is literally open. Like a literally miracle event. That's what I'm looking at. That's for me right now the highest timeline. What comes after that, I'm not really. So what I generally feel is that a general collective awakening event is like what I remember when I awoke. It's like you have a huge expansion of consciousness, okay, totally blown open, that lasts for a while, but then afterwards you come down, and then you have to clear out everything within your body for years, usually. Now it's going to be much quicker for the newbies, so to say, the new waves to come online, but I believe there will be an expansion, okay? But also, I mean, ultimately the programs and so forth, this is what we're also clearing out. So it's not as if, you know, they need to go through what we went through, but still the people will need to do their own work, if that makes sense, after the general first event wave has happened and realities have shifted forever for the better. If that makes sense, I hope it does. Sometimes when I listen back to what I'm saying, it's like, oh, I wish I had said this or that, because I'm often missing something out. Yeah, the net is down. When I speak about the net, and that was already back in, I think, November, the frequency net being down, and that's one of the main parts of, you know, us not having been able to receive higher frequency dimensional light, and also keeping the DNA locked in. So this is already opened up, which is only why we have been able over the Christmas period as well to activate all the blueprints and templates and really reclaim. We have fully reclaimed our blueprints now. This is all now available. It's just now the matter of bringing it fully online. But we are going back to, in the last few days, what I was really seeing is really retrieving those source codes by going back to before the fall, that consciousness, and really retrieving them and correcting them within our blueprint. So let me just check if there's anything else I wanted to say. So we just really, I feel, right now need to focus on any remaining separation we feel, or the conspiracy part of really understanding ultimately everything is conspiring for us. Everybody has been playing a role to bring total forgiveness to it. And wherever that still is, maybe in our lives, okay, whether it's with people in our lives privately or on a bigger level. And because also this is always connected to many other timelines or lifetimes, you know, there are bigger themes that are going on here. Yeah, I mean, the thing is also with the many attacks I did again, as these climax, like there definitely has been a climax of the positive and negative forces, so to say, and the consciousness trying to reconcile itself. And when that happens all the time, like the attacks get more. And I have to say, I don't get it much anymore. Like you need to keep your field clear, and after X amount of years, you know, it gets a lot better. But obviously we were in the height of battles. So there was definitely a lot of interference going on over the last few months, and especially again over the last few days and weeks and so forth, okay? So they do try, obviously, to throw everything at us that they can. Even when the net is down, then it comes from whatever, psychotronic weapons and, you know, all kinds of things I had plenty of fun with over the years. So, I mean, we need to deal with it the best we can. I spoke about this previously. That would also, to go more into that, for example, how to deal with interference, be a whole video of itself. One of the main things is, though, if we want to maintain sort of an energetic field, we do need to cut out any kind of energetic drains or, you know, energetic vampires in our lives. Like anything, you know, where you feel where the balance is off, you really need to check that and really, you know, cut those cords and you know, negative energy drains as much as possible. Because again, it's all about our embodiment, and we came here to make that happen, and we need to have, you know, divine love has really strong boundaries and discernment. It's being both and knowing when to put that foot down and draw a line is very important. So it's a total rebirth and reset as I'm seeing it at the moment happening. Collectively, rebirthing as one. So never mind what the other people are doing or not doing. Focus on you, okay? You are here to heal this for your family, for your soul tribe, you know. Just focus on your growth, and they're ultimately helping you to figure out what still needs to be aligned. What I'm seeing as well coming online is new mission upgrades, totally new way of how we're going to work, what we're going to offer, maybe even what we're going to do, maybe where we live. I feel huge changes and shifts coming in, and so there's a lot. We're in between worlds right now, really. So spend a lot of time in silence, or make space, in your life to receive those downloads. And you do need silence for that, as I find. Meditation in general, to integrate and to really connect with your body and what's coming online there at the moment, and really connect with that. And write your own script now. We came here to reclaim our power as super conscious co-creators again. But we do have to own our part played so far, taking full accountability and responsibility for our co-creations, okay, with other people. Because that's the only time when you then can start rewriting your own script and how you want it to happen. Because before we were pretty unconscious. Now we're becoming super conscious. The more conscious you become, the more responsibility you have. And we came here to create new worlds. We are the architects, okay? It's just to be forgotten. So with these downloads and activations, our gifts and abilities are very strongly coming online as well. So tune in, connect with it, and make notes. And also put it in action. So yeah, there's still more about, there's so much going on also with Giza at the moment, and the pyramids. And yeah, of course, a lot of solar activity at the moment. So we have, again, right now, geomagnetic storm. We also had a really long solar flare early on, several hours. It was an M flare and then a following big solar flare. I think that took like 6 hours. All right. I think it was Earth facing. Now we have geomagnetic storms, perfectly reality shifting weather. I always find manifestations are super heightened. I often am intuitively guided to either meditate, go into the grids, do grid work, or write or do an activation or come online when things like these happen, interestingly enough, because it all helps us to amplify the DNA activations, change literally matter density to a higher crystalline form, so from carbon to crystalline. These solar energies are ionizing the field, our own bodies. I can feel when these big solar flares going in, you can really see them crystallizing the grids. Your own meridians as well, which are really like the grid lines within the planetary grid. So really see your own body, go within and see the whole cosmos and the whole planet is within you. The stargates, the sacred sites, the grid lines. It's really important to, at the moment, despite any activations or guided, tools you can maybe use to also then go freestyle and really just intuitively connect the meditation with your body and how you should activate this, okay? And really see your DNA within and activate it. I just very much like to suggest people to use their own intuition, their own inner guidance, to really connect with those gifts and abilities that we remember, okay? Next to maybe anything kind of guided. So there's also a lot of focus on sacral and sexual healing and womb healing a lot. Also, I feel connected a lot with the feminine healing, because there's a lot that also happens, especially for women when we have children, that we get loaded on energetically through the distortions within the grids. So there's a lot for us to clear. I know from my experience, for years I've been clearing my sacral. It's a long story. And that has definitely been, highlighted again, because this is our creational womb. And it has been obviously raped. And that needs a lot of healing and clearing in order to now really tap into our creational energies and become these co-creators again of the realities, the architects that we are. So that's what we're really healing and tapping into right now. And just remember about other people as well. So far, nobody has really been their true self. Not nobody, but most people not. We've all been driven by programs and conditioning. Okay, and people don't know themselves. So it's important to see beyond those programs, and also how you see people in the past, like their past self, because what's really happening on a big level is this is a huge planetary exorcism, quite frankly, and soul retrieval and mass walk-ins on one level. So there are many different types of not many, but there are different types of walk-ins, okay? And then also on our level, often it will be a braiding of the higher DNA strands, okay, an activation that happens. But a whole new you is coming online, really, as we know from ourselves. So let go of the old stories, the old perceptions of people and how do you believe them to be, and be ready for miracles. That's all I want to say. They might have a walk-in, they might have, further DNA activation that is going quite quickly now, and they might not be self-aware of that. You might be more aware of them changing than they are. So just try to see people in the highest light, because I truly believe this is how we heal people as well. So, I think, yeah, I'm going to go over to a little healing, because it's already over an hour. As we're healing the last layers of separation, and I've been feeling that very clearly, and kind of missing the ones we love. With me, it's also my daughter, and just in general, I think for the whole of what we've been through over the last 2 years, and in general, as we all just want really to be loved and be held sometimes, and by the divine mother energies that are really helping us now to, because a lot of this is that we need to do this on our own, the final parts. And I think that's why we've also been very much in isolation or hibernation for a lot of the last 2 years. There's always a higher order to things, but really to also then go back from the group think and not be so influenced by everything around us, and really go within and finding ourselves again and sorting out all of these distortions and clearing it out, and really truly coming to ourselves. Know thyself, because this is really when we know ourselves as God, we also know God, and we know ourselves as one with all our things. And this is where we've come to now. This is it. I hope you can feel it. We're being rebirthed as one, as a collective. Millions and billions of years, so much hard work has gone into this. It's so exciting. This is only the start. So very, very, very exciting energies, very exciting frequencies. We are retrieving what's ours, reclaiming ourselves, pull it all back in. So I just do a little healing. If you want to just get comfortable, close your eyes if you like. I usually close mine. And just take a couple of breaths. Just let go of any thoughts, any worries, any stress. Just release it all. Esunamate eaneuanaye eun esunate anake erasu eanasta te anake ke anakura naseina. Yay. sunatea eona tu anaya esunea nena tana ena eu enata enaseu anaina eunana eusia ene tenake enanu ta ne euna euna sei teuna aro shuna euna ke reshuna ena na ke Yesu ana Euna te asena eane geuta na shiu ke ana te asuna te atea Euna kera shuna nasara yakara nasu kuyanake anaya yena nasu ekiana tu nanaye enanaye ekunasu nanaye te ku a ye a e nu su na te ena ena na to ena na ena se na ena ga shu na ya ku ha I ha nu ne Eonaina na ura shuye a kuye neana sanaya katarasa keana se kasayana ke atea tatara shakukuna tea ke ina ya sukura a ne te kuyana saya tayena nata Eonake, Eona Satara Shakara Tata. Opening our hearts to ever greater levels of love, loving ourselves, loving others. opening up to love in our lives, in love and reverence for all life everywhere. So it is done. Enakeda Sara Shukura Kayanakea Kokonata. Now, I hope you found that relaxing, supportive, and helpful. And I hope you're all doing well. Hold the frequency, enjoy your life, and keep doing the good inner work. Keep digging, keep resolving. It's all really within. Anything out there that's triggering you, keep pulling it within, keep resolving it there, keep alchemizing and being the change you want to see in the world. That's how we change it all. And it's happening now. It's already on the way. This is it. It is done. Thank you so much for everyone also who's been taking part in the activations ever since the summer, especially when we keep making these quantum leaps in collective consciousness happen, especially with all the other people who are doing amazing work out there. And just keep making the change happen. Keep holding the frequency, because it's really like we don't give up. It's just you keep breaking through, and you keep holding it, and you don't give up, because that's really the key. Perseverance, faith, belief, and it's brought us this far. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being here now. Thank you so much for just trying to be a better person, and we've done it. Thank you so much, and obviously there's always more to do. But thank you. Loads of love, many blessings. Have a great day, time, evening, wherever you are. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Paul. Love you guys. Bye.